Welcome back to So You Really Want to Learn Latin, and today we are going to have a blisteringly easy lesson on the perfect subjunctive. Now, it isn't often that we introduce a lesson that's just been ridiculously easy. The last time I think we did so was when we talked about the dead slugs on Mars who could cope with the imperfect subjunctive. And funnily enough, those same slugs could probably, have a pretty decent crack at the perfect subjunctive. Because really, all you need to know about the perfect subjunctive is that it isn't the future perfect tense. Now, what the hell do I mean by that? Right, well, the perfect subjunctive, and we'll look at ammo, because, they all go the same way. The perfect subjunctive of ammo is very nearly exactly the same as the future perfect tense of ammo. The main difference is that the first person singular begins a rim rather than a row. Apart from that, it's identical. Little difference in pronunciation. You'll see some of the vowels along which they're not in the future perfect. But essentially, if you know the future perfect tense of ammo, you know 5 of the 6 forms for the perfect subjunctive. And the one you didn't know, you're going to learn now. It is a rim. Okay, so perfect subjunctive of ammo goes amar verim, amar veris, amar verit, amar verimus, amar veritis, amar verint. Okay, so some long vowels going on, but apart from that, it looks frighteningly similar to amar vero, amar veris, amar verit, amar verimus, amar veritis, amar verint. And that's all there is to it. Now you may say, what does it mean? Well, subjunctives, as you know, it's a bit hard to pin down precisely their meanings. Normally the verb is in the subjunctive because the rule of Latin tells you, well, this construction requires the verb to be in the subjunctive. And you translate it in the way that fits that construction. But if you want a meaning for it, and it's always nice to have one, we go, I may have loved. Okay, that would be the translation of the perfect subjunctive. I may have loved. Okay. So if that's how ammo goes, well, moneo, obviously, monu erim, monu eris, monu erit, monu erimus, monu eritis, monu erint. Rego is going to go rex erim, rex eris, rex erit, rex erimus, rex eritis, rex erint. Capio, caperim, caperis, caperit, caperimus, caperitis, caperint. And audio, audi verim, audi veris, audi verit, audi verimus, audi veritis, audi verint. Okay. And all the irregular verbs, no problems there. Sum, for example, footy is the perfect stem, so it's going to go for a rim, for a ris, for a rit, for a remus, for a reaches, for a rint. Think of any other silly ones. Possum, okay. Potu erim, potu eris, potu erit, potu erimus, potu erimus, potu eritis, potu erint. Okay, so it's just the perfect stem with the endings erim, eris, erit, erimus, eritis, erint. Really, really easy. Okay, now when do you use it? Right, well, we've recently had a look at consecutive clauses. In fact, last lesson we looked at consecutive clauses, so results clauses. And we know that in a result clause, they're introduced by a kind of word meaning so or such or to such an extent, and then ut plus the subjunctive. Okay, that is how you do a consecutive clause in Latin. Well, if you follow the sequence of tenses. Okay, so if the main verb is primary, your subjunctive would be a primary subjunctive, and up until now, the only one we knew was the present. And if the main verb was historic, then the subjunctive would be historic, and the only one we knew was the imperfect subjunctive. So far so good. And that is the norm, actually. You normally, with a consecutive clause, get ut plus either the present subjunctive or ut plus the imperfect subjunctive. But if you want to stress the fact that the result of the action of the main verb actually happened, okay, and you're stressing the fact that it actually happened, then it's ut plus the perfect subjunctive. And at this stage, you don't bother about whether the main verb was primary or historic, okay? Because you want to stress the fact that something actually happened as a result of that main verb. You then have ut, or indeed ut known, but the perfect subjunctive, okay? So we've got an example in the book here. We are in chapter 6 of book 3. The example we've got here is milites tam fortiter pugna verunt ut hostes vicerint. Okay, so the soldiers fought so bravely, ut that, and here comes our result, ut hostes vicerint, that they conquered the enemy. And the point there is that they actually did that, and we're stressing that. They fought so bravely, with the result that they conquered the enemy. Now, you could easily have seen ut hostes vicerent, imperfect subjunctive, but there would be no kind of emphasis in that. That would just be, you know, a normal kind of consecutive clause. But if you really want to stress the fact that as a result of their brave fighting, they conquered the enemy, then you use the perfect subjunctive. Okay? Okay, and then there is another situation in which you use the perfect subjunctive. Not very common, but it's a nice one to have up your sleeve. And it's in Prohibitions. Now, you may or may not remember that if you want to say do not do something, we use noli in the singular or nolite in the plural, followed by the present infinitive. So, noli currere, Marke, would mean do not run, Marcus. Okay? And if you're speaking to lots of people, it would have been nolite currere, pueri. Do not run, boys. Okay? So that's the main way of doing a prohibition, in other words, a negative command. But there is another way of doing it, and that is ne plus the perfect subjunctive in the second person. So examples of that in the book, we've got do not do that, Marcus. Okay, ne plus the second person singular perfect subjunctive of facio, feceris, ne feceris illud, Marke. Or in the plural, another example in the book, we've got ne caperitis urbem milites. Do not capture the city, soldiers. Okay? So, you know, how often are you going to see that? Not 100 times. Well, maybe 100 times. But it's not very common, but you always have to know when you're translating Latin. If you come across something, you think, what on earth is going on there? That looks like, well, you might think it looks like a future perfect tense, because of course perfect subjunctives do look like future perfect tenses. But you might say, well, that makes no sense. It can't possibly, you know, you will have done something. You know, what on earth? Then you see an ut or a ne, and you think, hang on, so that's a subjunctive. Second person, singular or plural, of the perfect subjunctive, and who knows, there might even be an exclamation mark at the end to help you. Then you think, it's one of those slightly weird things. That's a prohibition. Okay? So, you know, we continue to roll on through the stuff we're needing to learn here. For the subjunctive, we have now done the present subjunctive. We've done the imperfect subjunctive, and now we've done the perfect subjunctive. And there's only one more to come, which we'll do next time, and that is the pluperfect subjunctive. Okay, so, you know, isn't this brilliant? Okay, I'll just do a couple of sentences just to round this off. We've got Urbem tam ferocite opungna verunt ut eam facile caperint. Okay, Urbem tam ferocite opungna verunt. They attacked the city so fiercely, okay, tam ferocite, ut eam facile caperint, that they easily captured it. And notice we are stressing the fact that they captured it. That was the result. We are emphasizing that result by using the perfect subjunctive of capere. Okay, now we'll do one in the passive. And I realize that I haven't told you how to do the perfect subjunctive passive. But again, it is laughably easy. Now, if you think of the perfect passive of any verb, you go to the PPP and add the present tense of sum. Remember, amatus sum means I have been loved. Now, if you want the perfect subjunctive passive, all you do is instead of adding the present tense of sum, in other words, the present indicative tense of sum es est, you add the present subjunctive of sum, which you will remember is sim, sis, sit, simus, situs, sint. So the perfect subjunctive passive of any verb is the PPP with the present tense subjunctive of sum added. So you get amatus sim, amatus sis, amatus sit, amati simus, amati situs, amati sint. And monitus sim, monitus sis, monitus sit, monitis simus, monitis situs, monitis sint, and so on. Okay, same rules apply. However irregular the verb, that's what you do. You go to the PPP, you add the present subjunctive of sum. Okay, so barely needed even to tell you that. It's so easy. I said it was an easy lesson. Right, and therefore we can now do this second sentence I was going to give you, which is Puer tam fessus erat, ut a magistro non punitus sit. Okay, so the boy was so tired, so that's nice and easy. Puer tam fessus erat. The boy was so tired, ut, right, now here comes, what's the result of that being tired? Ut a magistro non punitus sit, that he was not punished by the master. Okay, punitus sit. So that is the third person singular perfect subjunctive passive of punio. Okay, can you see what's happened? We've gone to the PPP of punio, punitus, made the us bit agree with the subject, which was a singular boy, so it's still us. And then we've added the present subjunctive of sum. Sim, sis, sit. Okay? Easy peasy. Okay? And we'll do one more, one of these funny prohibitions. We've got ne pugna veritis cum sociis Romani. Okay, ne plus the second person of the perfect subjunctive. Ne pugna veritis, do not fight. Cum sociis, with the allies. Romani, Romans. Romans, do not fight with the allies. Okay, that's it. That's your perfect subjunctive, active and passive. Got them both nailed. And I will see you back here on this channel next time to finish off the subjunctive by doing the pluperfect subjunctive. Okay, do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Drop me a comment in the box below if you have any issues. and I'll see you back here very soon.